All right. Rightio. So is everyone in, or are we still having lunch outside? Okay. You are? Edwin. Sorry about Sunday.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
So shall we get everybody in? Hey, hi. Hello. Everybody in? Yeah. Okay, I think a lot of people. So this is the group. So we have everyone in. Thank you everyone for coming back. Everybody had lunch. So I'd like to invite the panelists to come up. I think Xiong can come. Nicholas Tay, Daniel Chong, and Edwin Wang. Correct? Sorry, all guys. Morning also all guys. Now it's all guys. Yeah, it shows Triune needs to find some. Gabriel, you need to find some female entrepreneurs as well. Promote to be on the panel, and no, also to be moderator. Oh, you need one more. No, why don't you take this? No, come take this. I can stand because I have a mic that. Oh, he hit the other chair. Sorry guys. It's quite boring that you're having me again this afternoon. They got me cheap. They don't have to pay me. They don't have to give me lunch. Don't have to give me anything. So and now they take away my chair also. you know. So that's how it is. So this is about 0 to 1 and how I overcome my challenges. The panel, and we have got 4 very young entrepreneurs, startup entrepreneurs, and I've gone through some of their profile, but here they are to tell about story about 0 to 1. Any of you have read the book 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel? It's really a great book. I couldn't put it down. I read it on a plane and I just couldn't put it down. Some amazing quotes. And so, Peter Thiel asks a question in his book called, "What important truth do very few people agree with you?" What important truth do you hold within yourself that very few people agree with you? And it's a great question, So it shows sometimes as an entrepreneur, you must have the courage to be disliked, courage to be disagreed, courage to go and do something when other people don't believe you can do it. And these 4 young people, I think, have gone ahead and done some of the things that many people may think that's crazy. Like Xiong has got an amazing app on running. So maybe what we'll do is start by giving each of these gentlemen 3 minutes to talk about themselves, their names, their venture, and what you want to say about your business. So before they start, I want to tell you something. I'm just showing off. I attended the Obama. I go for this Obama summit every other year. And last year, when Obama launched his foundation, he gave us all a challenge. Tell me about yourself, about what you do in 6 words. Just 6 words. Okay, so we all had to sit there in a room like this and think about it. And he just said that. So no, not 6 words. You got 3 minutes. Please fire away. Yes. Right, you are David. Nicholas. Nick.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nicholas Day from Brandside. So Brandside is a digital agency. We build websites and do digital marketing. So how I started is I was a freelancer. I started freelancing at 19 years old, and I built website for clients since that. And then I built after I freelancing for 2 years, I see the opportunities, and it was about to came to my graduation already. I almost finished studying. By the way, I studied at the One Academy last time. So during my last year, I started a company with two classmates, and we getting more clients. And after we graduate, we continue doing it, and it was doing good. After 1 year, we actually our first company being acquired by another group of companies, right? And after being 1 year working under the group of companies, I came out and started this company called Brandside, and until now it's about 2.5 years, right? So to continue what Dash is saying about don't believe what other people talk to you, right? Is that when I first start, people I think it's too young to start. So I kind of to be rebellious and I want to prove it that even though I'm young, but I can do it. So that's one thing that I pick up and then I challenge myself to do until now. Thank you.
Even though I'm old, I also can do it. But anyway, cannot. So go ahead. Thanks, Nick. Yes.
Thanks, Nick. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm David Chong from Content Cloud. Basically, what we do is we are digital strategists. We help SMEs to craft strategies, especially those that would like to go to the digital realm. So currently, we are focusing on clients in the property development, retail, and also the manufacturing sector. So we do a whole range of strategy together with execution. I would say before that, a large many years of my experience is actually working with different property development clients, especially when they are launching a new project, new launches and whatnot. We will be there to help them to run different events or strategies or whatnot. And after this, we felt that there is a much bigger opportunity among the SME, especially the government talking a lot about SME needing to digitize or need to go for digital transformation. But what we find that, yeah, the government and the media is talking a lot about it, but when you really go to the ground level, a lot of business owners, they see the need, but they might not know how to implement it, or even if they were to hire staff, they might not even know how to manage the staff or craft a strategy. So that's where we saw an opportunity, and from there we venture into this segment. Yeah, thank you.
Shi Yong.
Hi, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Xu Yong, co-founder of Bit. So what Bit does, Bit is actually a peer-to-peer running motivator platform that connects people, especially runners, together to actually promote active lifestyle. At the same time, we actually wanted to actually bring in unity, teamwork, and also giving back to the society via the sports. So I was graduated around 8 years ago as an engineer. So a lot of people saying engineers, they are like entrepreneurs. They are solving problems. But somehow engineers are solving the product level issues, but entrepreneurs, they are solving human issues. So a lot of people told me why I'm choosing this path, and this is where I started because my first 3 years of working experience was in South Korea, and from there I actually experienced a lot of different culture of people. Like even though like joining running events, we see a lot of grassroots communities there starting to pop up. So like what our government say right now, a lot of to actually build a strong nation or strong sports, we actually need to support the grassroots communities. So This is what BIP believe in too. So we built a lot of different challenges and events surrounding the running communities and running clubs to unite them together to create more values and also to motivate other people to join in to have this active lifestyle. We don't want Malaysia to be the fattest nation in Southeast Asia, right? Right, thank you.
Edwin.
Hello everyone, I'm Edwin Wang from Signature Market. So have anyone heard of Signature Market before? Okay, so for those who does not know about Signature Market, our best product is roasted nuts and we sell it online. Okay, so when we started, everyone was asking like, hey, no, I mean, is it a good business? You know, you guys just roast nuts. How big can this business be? And we have been in business for over 4 years already. And for the first 2 years is pretty difficult for us. But after the two and a half years, we found our one. Okay, we are talking about 0 to 1, right?
Yeah.
So we found our one. One is product market fit. And from there, we actually grew 12 times from 1 million to 12 million. So this year, we are projected to close in revenue around 12 million. Yeah.
Fantastic. How did you, just to start from your side, how did you come to the product market fit? How do you find the one? And I also know that you had a previous success. You sold off your company to Living Social.
So
Tell us a little bit about that, and then how did you come to this?
The previous company?
Yeah, just
Okay.
a quick overview of the previous. He actually exited from a previous company. No, just take out the microphone and then
It's easier.
play with it. No, I mean, pass it around.
Hello. Okay, so previously actually it's a very good learning experience for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't treat it as like my baby or anything. You know, back then I was like with the intention of I want to learn like how does this Silicon Valley tech startup does it? No, their model is so different. So I mean that their mindset is so different. Like today, why Grab is losing so much money, Alibaba is losing so much money, and they still raise a lot of money. So my previous round is all about learning. So the first thing that I do is I actually sold like 80% of the company to a South Korea company, and they teach us how the tech game is played. Okay, and after that we got purchased 100% by a US company, Living Social. So it's a very good learning experience for me, and I treat it as a very it's like a career path for me.
So what company was that?
It is everyday.com.my, and we sold it to Living Social.
Okay.
So from the experience, we learned that mindset is the most important thing in operating a tech startup. And tech startup, like no one understand about tech startup. It's like, it's so crazy. I mean, Shopee is throwing money, a lot of money, giving free shipping, and they does not charge any fees to the merchant and everything. Why are they burning so much money? Okay, so there's a story behind it. There's a mindset behind it. So for this round, we also implement that kind of mindset, that kind of beliefs. Okay, so for us, our first 2 years is pretty difficult. So we test this, we test that. Basically for Asian, right, it's very easy because we have two places to copy our idea from. Okay, we copy from US. Then China got something similar. Then we copy from China. Then we blend it together. Then there's another company from US. In Southeast Asia we are pretty slow. So there's a lot of benchmarking we can do So we are just trying to pick their business model and try it out. Okay, so the first 2 years we wasted our time doing subscription, and subscription does not, for us, subscription does not work in Malaysia. Then we actually got inspired by one startup in US who started a subscription basis e-commerce, membership basis e-commerce called Thrive Market. So we just changed our business model like instantly. Okay, like within 3 months, we got our product market fit, and we start putting in more marketing budget to it to get that's where we get our product market fit. And once we get our product market fit, we try to find out the mathematical equation of the whole business. Because for consumer business, right, at the end of the day, it's very simple. It's CAC, LTV, and all those kind of stuff. Okay, so it's available in Google, Facebook, and Magic also teach it. Okay, so that's our journey.
Fantastic, Edwin. I want to keep this session as open and as fluid as possible. So you don't have to wait for me to say, okay, now we open the floor to Q&A. Please jump in and ask as many questions as possible. In this panel, I just want to dive deeper into the minds of the entrepreneurs and how they build the company, because I think there are a lot of people I was just telling to you just now, a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs or anyone listening to entrepreneurs, they believe in this Frank Sinatra school of entrepreneurship, which I call it the I did it my way school. But actually there is actually a structure to it. How do you come up with the idea? How do you see that the idea is an opportunity? How do you stress test the idea and take it forward? I think those kind of knowledge is very important for future entrepreneurs. And if you get inspired by their story, and then inspiration alone is not going to help, I think there is a need for understanding how did you guys come up with the idea? How did you test that this idea, there is a market for this idea, and how did you move from that level to, okay, now there is traction, there is a repeatable business model. This is what we want to hear. And how do you come up with that need? Maybe I kick off that question and then we'll take it from there. So just jump in. You guys are entrepreneurs. Okay. You don't have to wait for your turn or my turn or whatever turn. Just jump in, so that we get it more exciting. We want the panel to be more. This is a very difficult session after lunch, because after lunch you always feel like you are King Henry the Sixth, eighth wife. You know what it means? That means you know what's expected of you, but you do not know how to do it any better. You get the joke? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Cheers.
Okay. So for signature market, it is like, back then I does not know what to do. Okay. So I was just surfing TechCrunch on a daily basis, and this idea just clicked to me. So I'm just go like, okay, just do it. Yeah. So that's the thing that that's the light bulb moment when it get me started. Yeah.
So you got so convinced by this light bulb moment that you just inspired to put your energy into it and start.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would have I can choose any other ideas, but I choose this. Okay. I does not know why. Okay. Maybe there's this moment.
This is the current business you're talking about.
Yes, correct.
So signature marketing.
Correct. So there's no right or wrong. Okay. So it always happens for a reason. And after I go for this, I just stick to this I will try to make it work. Like find ways to make it work. Yeah.
So you sell all these health products, right?
Yes, correct. Roasted nuts,
the roasted nuts,
dry fruits.
Yeah. So how many of you here eat roasted nuts and dry fruits as a regular, as a health thing? So do you think this is a growing? It's a growing. I mean, of course, from 1 million now you're to 12 million. Must be a. I actually eat it every day as well. I think it's a great snack to have. Yeah, Shiyong, you want to talk about from health? You want to talk about your running and why? How it makes. You identified that running is a lonely sport, and how BIP is helping out in that sense.
Okay, so first of all, I think currently running is not a sports anymore.
Yeah.
It's more like a lifestyle,
Mhm.
and it is on. I mean, no doubt it is now on the trend, and it's a growing trend. But if you look at the history of running, US and Europe, they actually started a long way ahead before us. So, like what Edwin just said, we can have a look outside of Malaysia to see what is happening outside, like in US or even in Japan. Japan is, I mean, in Asia, Japan was the one that started this running culture earliest compared to other countries. So if we look at that, no doubt, definitely it is a growing market for Malaysia as our income increase and more middle class and more disposable income for people to participate in fitness and active lifestyle. So for us, we see the opportunity when I was in Korea. So I see the running communities there; they are actively participating in the events, and that it got me thinking. Malaysia, we used to drive. We go everywhere, also we drive, and then we have to park very near to the entrance. So that is the problem. How we get into these obesity issues and health issue, and this get me thinking. So how can we do something for Malaysia? We know running is popular right now. Like from 10 years ago until now, we can see the growth in the running events. But running events doesn't really change how people live because we participate just a few hours thing, then we go back and sleep, or we go back to our previous routine. So how can we make that different? How can we make running interesting enough so that you can do it regularly and make it fun? So that is how we crafted these ideas into what BIP is right now. So BIP currently we make running fun by some sort of like combining events and everyday running together to make it a longer term challenge. We call it a challenge. So, for example, in August, we actually get more than 6,000 Malaysians to participate in 1963 Team Challenge to celebrate the month of Merdeka. So, we group people, no, actually, we get people together to form their own team or running clubs to achieve 1,963 kilometers in 1 month. So, I mean, it changed and it gives you reason to run every day because your teammates are running, your buddies are running, and everyone's are running. So why don't you go out and run for 1 or 2 kilometers a day? So yeah, it gives us the reason. And our 0 to 1 moment is when we launch this type of events. And even before we launch it, we already put out our website. Before promotion, we actually got people to sign up. So we thought something was wrong. We contacted the person. We asked us, how can I know? How did you know about this event? They said they Google. So I think that is the product market fit that we are looking for at that moment. So when that happened, we know this is something we should go about.
Yeah. So you got your customer even before you launch your product.
Yes.
No, that's amazing, isn't it? To have a customer and people who are interested in something before even you launch your product. I think that's what it is. Because most people sit around waiting for customers after they've got a perfect app, but you've got it, and that to me is it's a great 0 to 1 moment.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And how about you, David? You want to tell us about your challenge of getting from 0 to 1? If you all haven't read 0 to 1, better read it so that you know. But it's quite a great, insightful book by Peter Thiel. Go for it.
Yeah, I read a book. It's a good book. Just to recommend a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually more on a B2B space. So my experience would probably differ from Edwin and Xiong. So I think for me in the B2B space, since we are dealing with companies, the way to validate is whether is the customer willing to pay for what you're offering. If you get a check, meaning is validated. That's about it. So I think it's just started with sharing my business model and concept to a few people. So it's just something like, let's say if I'm talking to a MD or CEO of a company, when we are talking about digital service or whatnot, so I actually presented my. I just give you an example. For example, one client initially inquired about creating a website. So I went there, talk about website, whatnot. Then after that, I just switched the conversation. I say, a website is just a website. At the end of the day, what do you actually want the website to do for you? Instead of hiring a web designer, why not you work with someone together, probably as your external marketing department, that we can actually work together on a long-term basis. So the more I'm able to know about your business, the more I'm able to create value for you rather than a one-off thing. So it's just a very simple pitch. So at the end of the day, across the table, my client is like a light bulb came up on his head. Then he said, "Oh, that's a good idea. I buy that." Then after that, basically, we sign a contract and do the deal. So I think this is just a simple validation for me. But if I were to trace back even bigger, few steps before that, how I came out with the concept, I think is about looking at the macro trends. I think I read a lot of news, for example, like what the government is trying to do, encourage e-commerce and different things. So the macro trend first, number one, and second is I think I also will do a bit like what Edwin said, see what's happening in China and also US. By the way, before that, me and Nicholas, we were joining a program called Founders Institute. So Edwin was actually one of the director there coaching us. So probably that's why some of the methods are similar. So yeah, so I think it's a bit of research. Then it's just combining few things. What is the macro trend locally? What are the trends overseas? Because normally we are like few years later than overseas market, and after that just test it on the ground. Don't have to do so many research or whatnot. It's either people buy your service, buy your idea, or they do not. So that's about it. Thank you.
Great. I mean, it's great insight that you gave him, that, getting to understand the customer. And would you like to share, Nick,
Yeah.
about your 0 to 1 challenge?
My 0 to 1. To me, agency business is more like we are servicing clients, right? So we get whatever clients needs and then we satisfy them by providing the service.
Mm-hmm.
And finding the 0 to 1 to me in an agency business to me is finding your unique selling point. There are so many web design companies, so many agencies out there, but so what is really needed in the market, and the market supply is not enough to supply that. So that is and you basically have a strength in that space to satisfy it. So that is the 0 to 1 moment, right? I read an article finding about website design actually from very high cost back in the 1990s dropped to very low cost, and now it's coming up again. And the highest one is actually customizations. So that means that actually now there are more and more people looking to build customized websites rather than like a templated apps and things like that. And being as having a technical background, and we found this is the way that we are tapping into, right? A lot of web agencies out there, they cannot do customization, they cannot do like good design and all that, and we can do it. So that is the moment that I found, hey, this is my 0 to 1 moment, and that's the market that we want to serve. Right.
Fantastic insights. Anyone, any questions from the floor? Jesse, do you have any question? You look like you're ready to ask, but you're just wondering whether I should or shouldn't.
If you could do it again, what would you do? What are 2 things you do differently?
knowing what you know now, what do you wish you had at the beginning when you started your company? Just one or two things.
One or two things that you do differently. Yeah.
Or what you see people have now, I wish I had that. Maybe is there a gap anywhere that you can
Okay, for my case, I think if I would like to do it again, I would probably stop thinking whether I should or I should not start it. So I think the best lesson I learned is to do it and then to see whether it works, rather than study research for months and asking around whether this idea works or getting advice. So I think if I would like to do it again, I will skip all that process and straight away jump in and see whether I can get the customers to buy in. That's my yeah.
Actually for me it's something quite similar. Okay, because I also have my own self-doubt, can I do it or not? Then and most of the time are wasted because of doing just enough, like just do just enough. Don't go all out for it. No, I mean like just play safe. Yeah. If I were to do it again, I will be more aggressive and and the growth would be so much better.
So are you saying, I always thought self-doubt is an asset in an entrepreneur because it makes you test your own thinking. So are you saying you will not have any more self-doubt, or you don't encourage people to have self-doubt? How do you?
Yeah, so I mean like self-doubt is something actually to me self-doubt is something really bad because when you have self-doubt then you won't do it, right? So maybe sometimes you stuck on the self-doubt for a very long
All too
time.
long, okay.
Yeah, all too long, or maybe you beat up yourself too much, then it makes you in action. So it's better to like just be in action and just go and do it. And maybe you don't get 100%, maybe you get like 50%. It's better than you stuck at like self-doubt for a long period of time. Yeah.
Okay. Shall we ask David and Nick the same questions?
I think looking back, probably one thing would be raise price faster and quicker. Because again, I'm in the B2B market. Sometimes when you start off, you quote this price. So because in your heart, you're thinking, well, will the client say more expensive? So this kind of fear. So I think after I overcome that, looking back, I feel like, yeah, I should have actually just charged higher in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree to what David said. Don't undercharge if you are a service provider. So a lot of time we think that when the clients come to us, is that this client should be nice to us, right? When clients first meet you, sure they will be like treating you nice. Hey, I really like you, Nicholas, and give me a good price. We will have a long-term projects and things like that. And yeah, so if we are too sympathy, then we are giving very low price. End up it might be difficult. These situations are right. We might complete a project, but in a loss situation. There are a few projects that I've completed, but with a loss, right? And second thing is don't focus on too many things. I should have learned that earlier. So when we first started, we do a lot of things, all the services that we can provide, even photography, videography, graphic design, printing, name cards, logo, everything that we do. Then after that, we found our niche. Then we focus on web design, and we tend to find clients that they want this service rather than seeing what clients that we have and what services that we can sell to them, right? So it should be the other way around, focus on the niche.
Any other questions from the floor? Yes, go ahead.
Regarding,
Ask them the most difficult question. Keep it interesting.
I got a burning question.
Burning and difficult.
Difficult, maybe not, because they're there already.
Okay.
So, I've been in product development for more than 10 years. In a commercial line, that means I work for somebody. They hired me to do this kind of thing. But now we have these four young men here. who talk about doubt after they've gone from 0 to 1. So what I did about 500 types of 0 to 1s. Within 3 months, we have to decide whether to go 0 to 1 for about this number of products. And there was always doubt. And they got people like me, I'm a chartered accountant, to simulate a business model, to simulate pricing, especially when you're dealing with consumers. You don't know how much to charge, you don't know what market to go, you don't know whether to go into 0 to 1 based on a bank loan or a investor, or you want to take out your own money. So how do you feel about, do you have at any point had to do simulations? Do you have to rely on professional services, or you actually went with your gut? Or you say you try bit by bit, if it works, go, if not. Because you guys are already 0 to 1 now, whereas I know 90% of the products that I launched didn't work. 90%. You had to kill them quickly. Even that, the 0 to 1 had, people had to do 5 or 6 business simulations to see whether it worked or not. So, personally, I will benefit a lot from your answers. Knowing that you have gone from 0 to 1 already.
Okay. For my answers is, if you do too many simulations and you do too many models and everything, this is a waste time kind of effort, because this is called play safe. Yeah. The way how entrepreneur do it is like scientists. I know I can find cure for cancer, and I'm gonna test this, I'm gonna test that. Okay, it does not work, but this part works. The small part works. So we keep on doing a lot of experiment, and we keep on collecting all the small things works, and we combine all the small things that works, and it becomes a business. Yeah. In that sense, don't do your projection. You only do your projection when you have one. Yeah, when you have one, you have all the previous data, you do your projection forward. And before you reach your one, just don't predict, because it will never be accurate.
No, that's really great answer. Yes.
You repeat my question, meaning that you have a certain investment that you need to pay back in 3 months. Because your angel investor needs to only have 1 million ringgit and needs you to come back in 3 months. So you have to be precise in the 3 months. That's what I meant to ask.
Yeah, that's why savvy investor never invest before you get one. Yeah, savvy investor never invest before you get one. Yeah.
So if I may throw some context on what is 0 and what is 1, so that it's easier that you understand that. To me, 0 to 0.999999 is all your process of searching for that repeatable business model, that product market fit. And the moment you hit 1, is your startup has become a business. That means you are just growing already. It's not searching anymore. It is now. But what Edwin says is a great thing. He used the word scientist. That is really a great thing, because a scientist is in search. He's not decided this is what is going to happen. He's in search. You know what I mean? Do you guys agree with what I'm saying? If you disagree, you can tell me, no, I disagree. We can disagree here, Yes. It's okay. We are all among the learning crowd, you know what I mean? So, I think the simulation may work if you are starting, but subsequent to that, you've got to get out to the market and test your product, and then you validate whether your pricing is right, your business model is right, whether you've made whether you even need to pivot, right?
Actually, I feel you, because
Okay.
BIP wasn't. I mean, we were not in this stage because of the one shot 0 to 1. We actually spent a lot of time of failing. So before this, we actually trying out something else, which didn't work out. So as an engineer myself, I also built a lot of failure products last time for other companies or for my ex company. So this thing happened, and I think it's a learning process. So we have to somehow validate quickly to avoid things being dragged out for too long. I think that's the lesson I learned.
So what kind of mindset do you need to have to keep failing, keep saying, "Oh my God, it is not working"? You know, you have so little financial resources, you have so little people around you with patience running out. You keep failing, your product's failing. Then you suddenly say you're building something, and then you need to pivot, change directions, or change your product. What does it take? You know, that's part of the 0 to 1 challenge anyway. What does it take to overcome that? How do you advise someone who's just starting out, on all these painful processes, the heart, the scar tissues? Just jump around and anyone, please just jump around. And any of you here got some insights into that, please feel free to share, because Triune is about not only the sage on the stage, but everyone, teaching and learning together. Correct, Gabriel?
Correct. Excellent.
I'll just add one thing to what he mentioned. I was actually talking with Jeff before
Yeah.
about the point that he mentioned. Actually, a lot of people misunderstand the idea of startup, and especially those who come from the corporate background.
Yes, correct.
They normally follow this procedure that has been done.
Yeah.
This is 1, 2, 3, follow
Yes.
it and get the work done. But startup is a stage where you try until you find.
Exactly.
There is no one method that will get you there, but there's more than one place where you can learn how to be efficient and effective in startup. One of them is lean startup, business model canvas, and now MIT, and there is a lot more programs that they help you learn how to fail fast and learn from your mistakes and until you reach what you really want in a very short time.
Yes. I want to pick it up from there, but after David has said something.
Yeah. Okay. I think just back to what Dash says, like what happened if you're on the journey, should you pivot or whatnot? So I think one concept that I learned is when you're starting out, don't aim for the peak immediately. For example, let's say the peak is the destination. You climbing out the mountain, so don't aim for the peak, because when you are at the bottom, sometimes you don't really see clearly is this even the right goal. So I think the concept is always to reach base camp first. Let's say you climb a mountain, you don't climb all the way straight lah. So once you reach base camp, maybe you have a better view of things, and whether should you still continue on this mountain or should you continue another mountain. So there's a bit of a big picture thing. And back to about the business stimulation or whatnot. For myself, I think it's not very scientific, but I keep a business journal. For example, let's say I started when I first started this current venture, I will list down what are my assumptions, because we might think how to say, we don't have the facts at the moment. So let's say I just list down 10 assumptions. I assume this is to be true for my business to work. Then probably a few weeks later or a month later, I look back, out of these 10, what is still true? What has changed? So I think from there, I keep on asking myself what is true and tweaking all my assumptions. So that is a very easy way for you to build out what is the building blocks of your business. I mean, not the most scientific way, but that's the way I do it, right?
Yeah, I think what David says here is, I'm just, if you don't mind me interjecting in between, if you need me to shut up, just let me know. But I think what David has said just now is very powerful, two very powerful things. One is, he says base camp. You get to base camp first. A lot of entrepreneurs think that, I want to think big. But, Vinod Khosla, one of the big venture capitalists in Silicon Valley, talks about getting to base camp, which basically means you think big, but you start small. That means you get to a point and then you decide whether that's going to, work for you or not. And the second powerful idea is about the business journal. I cannot, you cannot underestimate the need for reflection as an entrepreneur, because that is one of the things that will actually put in your mind that you are actually on a learning journey. Entrepreneurs are truth seekers, and when you are building a startup, you are actually testing a hypothesis, if I may. I don't want to take the limelight from them, but I'd like to say that what you're hearing from the panelists are very, very important for building a startup, because they have done it before and they are saying it casually. Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. But actually, it's a very, very crucial. And my job here is to throw a spotlight on what they are saying. Nick, go for it. What am I supposed to say? You talked so much already. He's looking at me. About the challenge of pivot, about the challenge of failing, about now you have a business, then you got to see a customer, all these things. What are the challenges? About
there are quite a lot of challenges. I mean, during the past few years, I've been through shit. Next week is the payroll, and we got not enough money in the bank. So what should I do now, right? So there are a lot of this kind of moment, we are in this project, and we are going to deliver next week, and we are late already. So what do we do? And sometimes maybe we meet difficult clients, and this project, sure, we are going to lose money already. So what should we do? So there are a lot of moments like this, I would say. So it takes time for us to learn, right? Keep on learning, right? Like for example, talking about financials, then we become smarter. So we need to be more strict on our payment terms and don't negotiate too much. So you have to pay before the website is live and things like that. And if talking about clients, so list out all the scope of work. So these things are learned through the experience. The terms and conditions that we list out in our proposals and quotations, get longer and longer throughout the times, right? So we didn't get there from the day one. We've been through a lot of challenges as well, and all these are learning experience.
So I see a lot of young entrepreneurs daily in my life as a trainer, as someone who trains them or mentors them. I think the four young people you see here are a class above the rest. I'm not saying that because they are here, but how do you see, so going back to your in search of question just now, statement you made just now, I forgot, I don't know your name. Mo. So, he says that startups are searching. So the thing is, the education system doesn't encourage that kind of a mindset, right? Our mindset is 5 plus 5 is equals to 10. Whereas in the startup mentality is question mark plus question mark is equals to 10. So it opens up the possibilities, I come from a family of Ceylonese, Sri Lankans, where you are either a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or a failure. You know what I mean? So if you're not either all the three, you're a failure. Your parents don't even recognize you as a human being after that. So for us to become entrepreneurs, it's not an easy cultural thing. So how do you see, when you see young people coming in to become an entrepreneur, what do you see and what would you tell them? Am I making sense? Yes, Jesse.
Yeah, where do you believe that our entrepreneurs born, or can they actually learn to become?
Oh, I love that question. I can answer that, but I won't say that. I'll leave it to them.
Okay, so actually for Malaysian, right, our education system is all about spoon feeding.
Yes.
Sorry, spoon feeding. And everything is mechanism wise, you just follow this mechanism 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're gonna get it. You're gonna be successful. Okay, so you memorize this. You're gonna score 100 in your exams. Okay, but in real life, it does not work that way. Okay, and a lot of people coming out from the society to work, they still stuck with that kind of mechanism. What should I do? What should I do? So it's a very difficult shift, okay, for them, okay, because they are not familiar with like, okay, why can't you just be in the moment and just open to possibilities? Yeah, just live in the moment and opens to any possibilities that come and reacts to it, rather than you have already a mechanism in your head. Yeah. So this is a very important mindset we need to change. I always focus on that change for all my fresh grads. Okay, for us we only hire fresh grads, and that's the number one thing we do always when they came in. Yeah, can you don't no I mean like just wait for me to spoon feed. I get you to just think about what you should do. So in a lot of times, right? We never give answer. We just ask question. Okay. So when when I guide my staff, it's all about questions. There's no answer, no mechanism, and because I believe mechanism, you can figure it out yourself. Yeah.
Wow, great. Anyone else wants to take Jesse's question? Can entrepreneurs be taught, or are you born? There are a few of those type of questions which I really always get, which I like to answer, but I'm not
Right.
what I know.
Okay, I don't want to give a direct answer because I think Dash have the answer. but I think my take on it is not just whether born or made, but someone with a very uh, burning desire, or they have a passion. That must be a very pressing reason, because a lot of people, they might think being an entrepreneur is easy until they hit some roadblocks or challenges. Then they will quickly fall away. So without something, a burning reason behind you, you will not succeed. So I think the first thing is, let's say any young entrepreneurs would like to start, I will see what is their main reason first. Is it you really have a passion to change the world, or might not be? Like for myself, it's not, or could be other reasons, like maybe that is just some self-actualization, or maybe certain events in their life that changed them, that gave them a reason. So in other words, the reason must be strong enough. That would be the first thing that I see.
So,
Yeah, I want to hear your answer.
you want to hear my answer? Oh, okay. So I think that there are 2 or 3 questions that always people ask before they step into entrepreneurship. Can entrepreneurship be taught? Is it in the gene? Okay, and is it in my genes that I got to do it? So, and the third one is it like a solo sport? So the third one is easy. Entrepreneurship is not about solo sport. It's a team sport. You got to have a team. You got to build a team quickly. You could think about your idea by yourself, but you need to get enough people to support your idea. And whether is it in the gene? Definitely, it's not in the gene. I think the other way my professor used to say is that everybody is born an entrepreneur. The education system kills you as an entrepreneur. So that's the other thing. And the third thing is, can entrepreneurship be taught? I think entrepreneurship can be taught. There is a process of learning about building a startup or building a company. And then the next question will be, but Bill Gates and Steve Jobs never go to class, ma. How is it possible? But you see, they are outliers. They build amazing products as well. The same way that, great footballers or great violin players or great chess players, they have an inherent talent. But there are other people who have learned to become great chess players or great swimmers or whatever. I always like to give this example. Just 1 second, let me finish if not, I'll forget, because I got so much white hair, I forget what I'm going to say. Anyway, so I like to go back to 400 years ago, when only 3 or 4 Galileo Galilei or all these scientists were the only one thinking about science. But then they thought about how do we democratize teaching science to others. And to me, the greatest innovation is the scientific method. They taught the scientific method, which actually became which is why all of us could learn science anyway, because they taught us the method, so we all could learn from the school. So that's exactly what the lean movement has done. That's exactly what the MIT's disciplined entrepreneurship has done. Customer discovery by Steve Blank has done. It has democratized the process of building a startup. And if you learn it sufficiently and you put it into practice, you can build a successful startup. You may fail 3 times, 4 times, but once you have internalized the process, you can build it. Sorry, yeah, I take your space. Yes, your question. I hope that was answered your question, Gabriel.
Actually, if you don't mind, I debate a bit when you mentioned the part about Steve
Me,
Jobs. Yeah.
Because
what I came across, I do a channel where I interview, artists, creatives, and such. And what I found out, or what I believe I found out, is that prodigies and geniuses don't necessarily exist. What they are probably people who found their match of what their vocation is very early on, and that's why they could focus down so much on it.
Yeah.
So that's the part I'm suggesting. That correct. Perhaps entrepreneurship can be taught and all that, but for many people, probably we're still in the classic method of education. So we lose opportunities of becoming those those unicorns or those geniuses or those icons that we have to read about first.
Yeah, I agree with you, because some of us are lucky to have found the crazy idea that we want to pursue, and then we just get stuck. Like I have a friend who's a very, very successful lawyer. I went to school with him. Actually, 2 friends. One is a very successful kidney specialist, nephrologist, and the other one is a successful lawyer. When we were in school in Form 1, they both knew what they wanted to do. And they both knew, okay, one of them said they want to be a doctor. One of them said they want to be a lawyer. I don't know whether they understood it, but they just built themselves up for it. And both of them are very, very successful, both financially and as people, very good people, but they are very successful. Whereas I said I want to be a rock band player, but I didn't do anything about it. So I just had to grow my hair and beard to look like one, but but didn't achieve that. Yes.
Yeah, actually, I also agree. Okay, because in a lot of times, it's actually not born. Okay, it is like in certain moment. Okay, maybe you are inspired by something, or you get touched by something, or maybe usually your parents will inspire you. Okay, like if your parents is a good tennis player, no, there's a big chance that you become a good tennis player as well. So it's really about inspiration. Okay, and once you are inspired as a child, and you get a lot of win in your life according to that profession, then you'll be eventually very successful at that profession. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you notice that in this panel, we're not just talking about the company, we are talking about something that's beyond, because 0 to 1 also means that you're not taking that well-trodden path. You're taking a path that you don't see. And how do you take that path, Yeah. So we want to inspire that kind of conversation, because if you want to just ask them, how much money did you raise? Where did you raise the money? You can just have coffee with them and they will tell you. But we want to hear things that you don't normally get it from Crunchbase or Digerati. Are you all part of the Digerati? No, so must tell Karam to put you in the Digerati as well. Yeah, So, Gabriel, maybe you should have a hall of fame for all these young entrepreneurs to celebrate the successes of young entrepreneurs in the Triune Center. I'm telling you a lot of things. Anyway, any questions? Do you have a question? You seem like this young lady who's a founder. Looks like she's got a question. Later. Yes. Yes.
I do have one for
Edwin.
Yeah, you just mentioned that spent a couple of years trying to figure out the belief for tech startup, especially the belief and mindset, right? So you say you found it. So can you share with us what is maybe the top 2 or 3 things that you found?
Okay, so actually about the Silicon Valley mindset, right? I'm one of the lucky ones that Magic sent me to Palo Alto, Silicon Valley to participate in their 2 weeks East Stanford program. And back that time, I was with Cheryl Yo, and Cheryl Yo is a big, is a big believer about that mindset. Okay, and the mindset is actually giving mindset. Yeah. So if you spend like 1 or 2 weeks in Silicon Valley or San Francisco, you see the people there is like super giving. They always give unconditionally. The mentors was so helpful. Like they go up. Like they do whatever things for you just to help you, and their mindset alone is so amazing. That's the most important mindset that makes Silicon Valley what they are today. And they practice something called abundance, where they don't treat competitors like how we treat competitors over here. Yeah, they treat competitors as like friends. No, like I help you, you help me, and eventually maybe we can merge. Or maybe if you are very successfully in doing this, I'm very successful in doing that. So maybe, and I'm very good in fundraising. Maybe I can acquire you, or you can acquire me. So their mindset is like totally different than the Chinese mindset that I grew up learning from my parents. You know, it's like you need to be more selfish. If you give to others, then you'll be on the losing end. You're gonna lose. You can never let someone win. Then you'll be on the losing end and everything. So it's a game changer for that kind of mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's a very, very good mindset. The paying forward mindset is the other mindset, that is people don't want to share their ideas. They think that other people will copy their ideas.
Yeah, I'd like to touch on this. People don't want to share the idea.
Yeah,
That actually hold the entrepreneur
back.
from holding back from testing the ideas.
Yes.
If you don't tell, you'll never know whether it works or not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's you want to add to that or something?
Yeah, and also from for the questions about entrepreneur is being taught or born, I would say it is a lot more on the environment. So I would say a lot of entrepreneur I see or I met, they are from an environment where they couldn't escape, or they have to do it no matter what, because they have staff to feed, they have family, they have children, or they have this business to carry on.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they thought they want to be an entrepreneur, but ended they have some other options that pull them back, because okay, I can always go back to work, I can always do something else. So they ended up pivoted as a out of this scope, instead of like continue searching for the one that they are looking for. Yeah.
David, Nick, you want to say anything? So this part about sharing ideas is something that I found among a lot of young entrepreneurs, even way back in 2010, 2011. I launched a program called, can I say a little bit of what we do? Silicon Valley comes to Malaysia. So I brought a bunch of Silicon Valley guys from, of course, Silicon Valley here. I brought the founder of LinkedIn, YouTube, AngelList to Malaysia. This is in 2011. And I told the young entrepreneurs who want to come for my event to submit their idea, to put the idea in. So 1,000 of them came. And that was the first cultural break, because they all refused to put their idea. I said, no matter how stupid your idea is, you've got to submit your idea into a portal before you let you come into the conference. And that's when we saw how strong their belief was that somebody is going to copy the idea. And then treating the competitors like enemies is another one. I mean, I was in Pavilion the other day. I asked the guy in one of the stalls in the food court, where is the chicken rice shop? And the guy said, I don't know. But actually, the chicken rice shop was just opposite there. He said, I don't know. I said, oh, what? You don't know? Then somebody at the table said, no, it's the other side. I said, oh, okay, fine. So, but whereas, when you travel into other countries, you ask them, hey, you ask the shop, the competitor, they will tell you, oh, if you go here, you turn right, you turn left, and they will give you. I think that is something we all have to change in our culture as well. Gabriel, you got something to share?
Yeah, actually I do. I'm not sure, but you probably have heard, and our late good friend Nazrin also used to
Yes.
say that there are people who do potong jalan in this country and in this so-called ecosystem before. But now I hate to turn the discussion to politics,
Sure.
but do you think with the new regime, what these four young gentlemen have espoused, this ethos, this culture, will it set foot? Will it flourish in Malaysia? Will it help? Will it really sort of proliferate among the people in Malaysia and be a lasting change?
Okay,
I think that question is for
The whole.
four of you and everyone here. I think you have just opened it up
Okay,
further. This
so-
is great.
Okay, so in my opinion, most Malaysian always, they always blame the government, and I don't. You are successful or you are not successful. What does the government has to do with your success or you are not success? Okay, and for the culture to kicks off, okay, we should not just rely on the government. Okay, everything we just push to the government, push the government. So if we believe in that culture, then we will be the source to spread it out. Yeah, by example, by teaching, by sharing. Yeah, so like today's sharing. So at least people are more aware about what is the giving mindset and culture. Yeah.
So from my opinions, I think it's a lot more on the entrepreneur itself, because a lot of people they tends to saying like potong jalan cases, what if something happened to me so I don't get that job. So I think it doesn't matter so much unless you are building something for the government.
That's right.
Yeah. So if you are building a consumer business or B2B business, it doesn't really matter so much. But at some point, maybe government policy really does matter to your business. Like the change of policy, it affects. But that is not always the case. But you have to start up something first. So unless you are building something for government, then that's the other story. Yeah.
Anyone else wants, David, Nick, anyone else on the floor wants to attempt an answer to that? Yes? Finally, we hear your voice.
Okay, from my experience that we were running for about over the 6 months, we thought of getting grant from government, but it's no hope. So we thought of another way of to accelerate our business, that we go through a collaboration with other partners. Yeah, so from that we don't have to raise funds so much for building the system. So that's my experience.
Yeah. Anybody else? No, I have my 2 cents. So this is what I think. I think there are 2 parts to the ecosystem. One part is the entrepreneurs like us, who are the creators of new businesses. And then the other part is the conditions that enable creation. And I think it's very much the government's role to create conditions that enables creation. That means, you got to make sure that the education system is in place. You got to make sure that competition is the level playing field. You got to make sure that there are funding for startups, that venture capitalists are coming back to the country, angel investors are coming back. See, you need to have all that. That's what makes Silicon Valley what it is. A lot of people think that Silicon Valley has got no government in it. Actually, there was a lot of government behind it before. I mean, if Apple and all, there was a lot of research funds that the government has put in for people like Apple, Google, and all to flourish. So I think the important role the entrepreneurs today can play with the new government is to articulate the fact that they may not need direct spoon feeding, but you need the conditions that will enable the creation of more such entrepreneurs. That's what I think it is. Go to the schools, make the young people become startup junkies. I mean, if you go to Rio, like in Brazil, I see by the beach, there's a lot of young children playing football, playing soccer. And this is how they all become great soccer players. So you need a lot of young people in schools, not start ventures, but start projects, little projects that they can fail. So by the time they come to university, they have a great idea that they can do. I'm a great advocate of creating startup junkies around the ecosystem. Yeah. We've got time for another two hard questions for these young men, and then I will tell them to wrap up. Give them 1 minute to wrap up of what they want to do next with their ventures. What are their key successes which they are really, really proud of, and something that they want to tell us that nobody else knows about. Just joke. Yes.
Yeah. Could you share with us some tips or ways how do you keep your employees motivated, especially in a startup in an earlier stage, where typically you don't pay them much and they have to put in a lot of long hours, and yourself being very young and not very experienced, how do you on day-to-day basis, how do you keep them pumped up?
Great question.
Okay. Actually for human being, right, is very easy. It's either for employees, right, it's either the belongingness of the company. Okay. Let's say if you yourself are very young and you hire a lot of youngsters around and you guys just play around, then there's this belongers like family. Okay. I mean, money is not everything for human being. Okay, so if you can create that belongingness, I bet you are a very young guy as well, right? You can create that kind of belongingness. For me, I'm actually very old, so I does not click with like Gen Y. So the things that I gave to my employees is like self improvement. Okay, if you come to my company, you get a lot of growth in terms of personal growth. You can learn a lot of things. You can change your mindset. You can grow your self belief. You can this is what I'm good at. Okay, I do coach them and get them to become better on a monthly basis kind of thing. Yeah. This is my benefit. Okay. So everyone has their own benefits. Yeah.
Okay. For my company, I actually believe the staff or our employee, they actually want something more than a job. So they don't want to spend time working for other people. So as long as they have the same vision with the company, they wanted to learn and grow together with the rest of the team, then I think that itself is a good motivation already. So by having on top of that, we can always help them to become better. So I even teach my employee how to write CV, how to write the resume. Not because I want to encourage them to find other jobs, but it's more to like telling them what is best practice. How can you improve yourself by brushing up all these skills? So to wrap up, I think motivations come from multiple angles. Money is just one of them, especially for younger generation. Many of them are rich, so it's true. Many of them are really rich. So what they want is the purpose of life. So we have to guide them to find that, so that they feel happy to be with the team and work together with a common goal. Yep.
I've not heard from David for a long time. Maybe David, you want to say something.
Okay. Okay, I think for me it starts with selecting the right people. How you actually write your uh, job description, that would be the key. For example, let's say you want someone that is very committed or very motivated. Maybe you don't paint such a nice picture of your company. You say if you join here, you'll be working long hours, da 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 da. So you are pretty much screening out a lot of people already. So that is actually the first step. Then second step, of course, when you meet them, that is where you see. I'm not sure whether it's correct to say it, whether there's some sort of a working chemistry together, because it kind of needs to feel right as well, because somehow you need to work with each other on a daily basis. So I think the last thing would be uh, uh, don't think of yourself as a boss in a very traditional way, because if not, it will kind of like create a barrier. So I think I prefer more flexible communication, like just being a part of the team rather than being a boss. That's my tips.
I think culture is one of the very important things. To me, I believe that the first 10 to 20 employees don't post on the internet and get someone randomly. So I will go down and hunt like friends of friends, post on Facebook, see whether someone know designers or developers, and probably some people that I have worked with before, because there are a lot of like freelancers, part-timers that I work with, and I'm comfortable with them, and I think they will fit the cultures. So I will hunt these people to be in the team, so that it wouldn't be like someone randomly come and spoil your whole company cultures, and that's one thing. Second thing is as a leader of a company, we have to set a goal, and the goal has to be crazy but achievable. So there's one goal we set BHAG, big, hairy, and audacious goal. Yeah, so you set a goal that is like, wow, my boss is crazy, but he's leading us to achieve it, and there are strategies implemented to how to achieve the goal, right? So that makes everyone very excited. Wow, we want to push this company towards the next base camp or next peak, right? So that's one thing to keep us motivated.
All right. If
Yeah,
there's no further questions.
I just want to add another tips, right? Never motivate your staff with money, okay? Because it will be never ending. Yeah, because those people who wants money, right? They will want more. Okay, so do not motivate your staff like just money. Yeah.
So you think that we should give them a sense of purpose more than money?
Yes.
Okay, it keeps them going. Yeah. Any one other burning question? The young man at the back.
Hello, my name is Johnny. I have a question. How do you determine, or you guys have any experience, how do you determine that, let's say an idea, and then you push your idea all the way, but it seems hasn't kicked off yet, and how do you determine whether to stop, and you have spent a lot of money in it, and then you say, okay, this is it, the market isn't ready, or other factors? Or do you spend, you sell your last piece of clothes just to get it one last push? How do you determine whether you stop or you go? Any of you guys have any experience in that?
Okay. I get this question a lot. Okay, because I do coaching for entrepreneur as well. Okay, so my answer is very easy. Just follow your heart. Okay, so your gut feeling is always right. Okay, so just follow your heart, and if last push is what it takes, then just take the last push. And usually when you are the most down and you can never go down anymore, you will go up. Yeah. So this is the truth. Yeah. But at the end of the day, still follow your heart. Okay. No one can predict the future and everything. There's no mechanism. It's just your heart.
So now you can see why I feel that sold this company is a true hustler. So Since there's no other questions, so I'm going to ask you, all these young gentlemen, three things. Describe yourself. And going back to the first thing is, what is that one belief that you deeply hold that very few people agree with you? And finally, what is one success that you're really proud of that you want to tell everyone? Describe yourself, one belief that you think is deeply hold, but not many people agree with you, because that is the core of 0 to 1. And thirdly, what is one of your successes that you're really proud of that you want to share with everyone here? And then we close the session. Can you remember?
The first one is?
Nick, you want to go first? Describe yourself.
Describe myself.
In sequence, if you get one word.
I'm Nicholas. All right. One thing's okay. When I first started, a lot of people, even my parents, family, they are like doubting lah. So you're so young, why don't you go to work? In fact, I never underemployed before, so I straight come out from college and start the business, right? So that is the doubt lah, right? And I believed at that time, I believed that I could make it, and so the success is I never thought of a few years later, and I able to have a team of around 10 people and have some clients. So we built quite a few successful, quite good website lah, right? Like for Sicily, Crocs, and IMU. So some of the big and small clients that we got, and we are quite happy with it. And we are working towards a goal like quite crazy lah. I want to grow double every year for 3 years down the road. So that is what my vision is. Yeah, and on top of that, I believe that I believe that strategy, technology, creativity should work together, and we agency must provide business-driven solutions to the clients. So that's how that's our value of the companies that push us until now. Right.
Okay. To describe myself, I think I'm a perfectionist. If I were to choose one word, some belief. Okay, even though I'm running a digital agency, I think one belief I could say is contradictory is digital marketing doesn't work or doesn't work alone. Because even when I speak to a lot of clients, I don't really go in detail about digital marketing, SEO, or advertising or whatnot, because at the end of the day, I feel a business is still a business. A lot of times that how the old school marketers does it is still very valid. That means you need to have a good product, you need to have a good branding position and all that. So I think, and even offline marketing, all these are very valuable. So just digital marketing alone does not work, even though I'm coming from a digital agency. So things that I'm proud of, I think, I pretty much started with not much resources or not much connection, or I don't get major funding or whatnot. But I think just by resourcefulness alone, I still managed to work with a lot of blue chip clients, like probably developers would be companies like Sunway, Medini, or whatnot. And right now I'm transitioning to working with companies like shopping malls. We actually do the digital for entire shopping mall manufacturers and whatnot. So just based on very little resources. So that's the thing I'm proud of. Thank you.
If I would like to describe myself in one word, I think it could be adventurer. So I believe the least taken route is the best choice among all. So if let's say, people telling you after graduate you should find a job or continue to studies. If a lot of people told you the same thing, you must really think twice or think even more times about it, whether is it a right choice for you. So I think following the advice blindly is a huge risk, and at the end of the day you might blame other people instead of taking that responsibility yourself. So to what's the second question?
Okay, let's talk about your success. You already answered the two.
Okay, so I believe sports is a platform to unite everyone. So for BIP, we really hope our platform can be part of the nation building. So we connect people together, achieve something together, promote unity, and also make Malaysia, transform Malaysia into the new, some sort really of the new Malaysia where people can work together, sharing ideas, having active lifestyles, and change the old way of living together. Yep.
Okay. I would say myself as an attention seeker. Okay. If you can see, right, a lot of successful person like Elon Musk, they are like huge attention seeker. They want to create something out of this world, something that you have never seen before. Okay. This one thing that can describe me. So I would like to share about my belief. Actually, for belief, right? One of my guru tell me, if you believe something, and it will come true to you. Okay. So before this year, right? My belief is always about I am always the source to make things happen. I need to work hard, then I will become successful. This is what my parents tell me to do. So I work very hard on a daily basis, and my success today is because of my hard working. Okay, one of the guru tell me, oh, yeah, that's why your success comes so difficult for you. You need to work so hard, then only you can be successful. Why others does not need to work so hard, but they can be so much more successful than you. Okay, so this year I changed my belief. Okay, my belief I changed to, I can get success easily. Okay, I can get success easily, and it came true to me because people around me started to help me. Okay, last time I used to refuse support, refuse help. So by changing belief, right, it actually makes me so free right now. Right now I delegate everything to my staff. There's trust and everything. So belief is very important because you can attract that result. This I want to share.
Fantastic. So we have come to the end of the panel. I would like to thank you all. I think I always believe that entrepreneurs believe in two key things. One is every problem is an opportunity. The bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. And secondly, entrepreneurs do a lot more with a lot less. And I think what we see from these four young, although Edwin says he's old, but these four young, I think he's the only one wearing shirts, so we can believe he's a little older, but anyway. So thank you very much to Mr. Attention Seeker, Mr. Adventurer, Mr. Perfectionist, and just Nick. Yeah. We wish them all the best, and actually we wish you all the best for your own aspirations. I see a lot of you want to become entrepreneurs, and we want to wish the best to Triune Center. Thank you very much, Gabriel, for having me and to moderate this, giving me the honor, and thank you.
Actually, we should be thanking Dash for moderating. I think you can pretty much see he is really the sage on the stage, the guru from the, can't find anything that rhymes with guru. Sorry. So our next event is at 3:30. So please help yourself to a tea break. It's Malaysia, so we must have a tea break. And again, one more time, just thank you to Dash and Startup Malaysia for moderating. I don't know how I will make it up to you. Did you think it was okay? I thought it's the post-lunch Malays. You managed to write it out, and then you got over it, and then it was just smooth sailing. Yeah, does it feel good? It feels good energy. Yeah. Good energy, very good.
most of the time, yeah.